on your. Okay, so again, I will just briefly overview what we have already done until now, and then I will, just give a break for question answer session because that might be our last live session. We have a session on Sunday as well. And I will try to, create some time for next week because I'm going to give you some work and I will help you to review your work. And then we will have another live session, which would be our concluding live session, which would be considered as a fifth live session, which will be in next week. Okay, so let's start working. Before we move on to today's work, so let me just briefly overview what we have already done until now. I will show you from the slides, and also I will show you on the template which we have already working on, and then I will take a few questions around that, and then we'll move on with the today's session. Okay, so obviously we were working on the systematic literature review steps, which we have already covered, the conceptualization already being done. We have done our research question, we have done introduction part, we have done with our keyword, and I believe all of you have already worked on your keyword with elicit.org in order to understand the clear synonyms, or if there is any substitute available for your keyword. So you have considering all those keywords, and this practice have been already done in our first week. And then we will discuss about the search strategy, which was mainly work for last week, where we have worked for Prisma framework, and I asked you to work. You can watch this on previous session as well, but also I ask you to explore this Prisma website. It will give you more information on that. But Prisma framework was really simple. We have 4 stages here, which are mainly your identification of the relevant literature, screening of your literature eligibility criteria, and then finally we need to give the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Sorry, after this we need to give final number of research article included, and this is where we have to extract the Excel sheet, and we need to work on the Excel sheet. So once the Excel sheet is being extracted, the next step was to bring that Excel sheet to our software, which we can use any bibliometrics or keyword and analytics software, but I prefer to use R package, Bibliometrics, and BiblioShiny, which I have already uploaded a few videos on how to install and how to work with that software. So we learned about the Scopus website and Web of Sciences. On last Friday, I discussed about the Scopus, and I tried to give you how we can use Scopus website. But in Friday's session, we discussed about the Web of Sciences. So if you are interested in the Web of Sciences, go ahead and check on our Sunday live session, and you will find a complete video on how we can use Web of Sciences to extract our records. And then further, you can use bibliometric software in order to analyze the descriptive analysis, and also we have the cluster analysis as well. For descriptive analysis, I believe everybody is aware of all these descriptive analysis, and there are many other descriptive analysis formats are available, so which we have already started working. And finally, we divided our literature in different clusters. I believe you have seen those videos, and I will try to upload another video on this cluster, how we can upload the divide our data into cluster, where the clusters you can consider them themes as well, and how to combine those themes with the different from subclusters to different themes. So this is a video which is already being uploaded, but that research question was different. Now here we are talking about the smart contracts and supply chain, digital supply chain. So I have already created that video, and hopefully immediately after this session, I will upload that video where you will learn how to use these bibliometrics for creating different themes, okay, which already being uploaded. This would be an additional video for your understanding around how to use this software and how to work with the Excel which we have exported from this software. Okay, so this is what we have already done. In terms of template, let me show you the template here. So we were, we have already extracted all these different sort of descriptive analysis. Let me just take you to the starting point, and then I'm just briefly overviewing this template. Okay, so introduction part, we use ChatGPT in order to understand the key ideas around my research. And then we use Elicit to develop a clear research question. And then we moved on to materials and methods, where we use Prisma framework. These are my keywords which I use. And then we have finally 415 articles. So I have already developed a video on this 415, which we are working on this particular program or particular course on this 415 research article. But how to use your R package or BiblioShiny, the videos are already being uploaded. So these are all criteria for systematic literature review using Prisma framework. And then we have results, which mainly descriptive. We also called it centrometrics analysis, where we will discuss the distribution, yearly distribution, citations, authors. All these are very general information about the data we extracted from Web of Science and Scopus. So I believe you have already done, or you do understand until here. Okay, now from this we used variable or literature clustering. Okay, now literature clustering, we use BiblioShiny software to develop different literature clusters. And then we have these thematic maps where we have 4 different quadrants, and in each quadrant you can find one or maybe more than one themes which we can combine if we need. That's your own choice. If you have watched that video, you would be understand that how to do that. So these are the Excel sheet or the tables extracted from BiblioShiny software about how we can divide our literature into different themes. For me, I have already developed 4 themes here based on thematic mapping. 4 themes in my research are supply chain automation, scalability and traceability, interoperability and integration, and legal and governance framework for digital supply chains and smart contracts. Okay, so these are my clusters or the themes. And today we'll be working how we can use different software to work within each clusters now. Now, before moving to this point and moving to the within cluster, I open the forum for question answer or any confusion if you have. So until here, everything is clear, or do you have any question?
Sorry, I have a question on the how do we divide the cluster? Is it because the BiblioShiny website can tell us the different like themes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to do that here? Let me just show you a few quick tricks so you can understand. But I have already uploaded that video as well. So let me run.
Okay, yeah, if we already upload that video, I think I can go back to what is it last week's video, or is there something else?
It's last week videos. I have already uploaded separately for BiblioShiny. Okay, how to develop. But quickly we can go here. It will just take a few minutes, so don't worry. We can continue with that. But if you have any other question, meanwhile the system is system should be ready for BiblioShiny. If you have any other question, anyone, we can move on with the questions. I want you to clear any doubts you have in.
Doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few questions when searching for articles for SLR. First question is how to combine multiple database in BiblioShiny, because when I do this descriptive analysis information, PubMed, I search separately, then Scopus, then dimensions, but then I don't know how to combine it together. Impossible for me to sum out all the general informations data, right? Then is there any other options other than by BiblioShiny? Because not all database is appeared in BiblioShiny. Like Sage, like Emerald, I can't find in BiblioShiny. Then my second question is, when searching for keywords to search for articles, we need to maintain the consistencies, right? So some databases might have title ABSCII and some don't have for example, Google Scholar and also Dimensions AI. And is it compulsory to include Google Scholar in searching articles? Because Google Scholar, they limit to 256 words in the query. So if I include keywords and synonyms, it might be more than 256 words. Then the Google Scholar, when they search for articles, they might cut my query. And sometimes the Google Scholar is not stable. And then if the format of searching for articles in Google Scholar is also difficult to identify. And then finally, my final question is, for the title ABSCII searching article, do we need to key in title ABSCII during identification stage or screening stage?
Okay. Okay, let's take your questions. The first one is about the different files, right? So you are using different Excel sheets and you extracted data from different files, right? So from different databases. So that's your first question. To answer to your first question is, I have already uploaded one video where you can combine or merge different files from different Excel sheets. Okay, that's really possible. There is no problem at all. Okay, so you can combine, but before importing any data to BiblioShiny or any bibliometric software, you need to create only one file, one Excel sheet. Okay, one Excel sheet. That's really important for you. So to do that, we can merge by using Power Query option, which I have already uploaded in additional learning. So you can go down in your portal and find out that additional learning. Now, the real challenge is when we are working with different databases. For example, Scopus and Web of Sciences, PubMed, Google Scholar, and all this. Now, this is where the problem might come in. Okay, you need to the software, they can understand only one format at a time. They can't understand all these different formats. Okay, so you need to standardize your data into one format only. For example, if you consider Scopus as a baseline and you want to import data as a Scopus file, so you need to bring all your data from different files as the data is available in your file which have been extracted from Scopus website. Okay, so that's really important. You need to make it standard. No matter how many different databases you have used and you have extracted from different databases, you need to use only one file at the end. Okay, so we can't do this separately. How to merge different Excel sheets into one file. This video is already available on the portal. You can watch out and you can try. And if you have still a problem, you can contact me and we sort out your problem as well. Okay, so this is first question. And your second question was
Doctor, then
yeah.
how about the descriptive analysis, the general information? I still need to separate on Scopus file, on Web of Science, and also on PubMed. Then in Excel, I combine them together, or I report separately.
No, that's not possible, because most of the time you need to combine them, but you can't give descriptive for separate. For example, for Web of Science, you want a separate descriptive analysis. That's not possible, because there might be duplication, and how to remove duplicates, we have already discussed this in the previous video or previous session as well. So most of the time when you are working with Scopus and Web of Sciences, mostly the article with the same query, you will see more than 50% they are duplicate and you need to remove them. So if you are giving a separate descriptive for every database, it means that your work is not legitimate because there is a lot of duplication there. So in Prisma framework, you just need to mention, okay, for example, when I extracted from Scopus, there was 200 article. When I extracted from Web of Science, it was 150 article. Now combine 350. When I remove the duplicate, there are only 275 research articles in my final database. This is where you will start working with the BiblioShiny or any descriptive analytics software. Okay, before this, you need to combine and remove duplicates. This is really important. Okay, clear? Okay, so if it is clear, I can move to the second question. Clear?
Doctor, you mean combine in Excel, then I upload in BiblioShiny?
Yes. Yes.
But under Scopus.
Before uploading, you need to remove all the duplicates. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now the second question is different databases, and especially you discuss about the Google Scholar, right? And you mentioned that it's not possible or it's difficult. We can extract data in the same format where the software can understand that format. Okay, but we can use another software to do that. We call it publish or perish. Okay, so if you extract data from publish or perish, it will give you Excel sheet the way I'm extracting from Scopus or any other website. So if you want to learn about that Google Scholar and publish or perish, I will upload that video in additional learning as well. Okay, so let me note it down because sometime I might be forget to upload these file. So I will upload these two files for you. One video would be on how to use Google Scholar for your search, because you were talking about the advanced search queries. So I will upload that video. And also how to use publish or perish software to extract your data in Microsoft Excel. But there is another method. If you don't want to use publish or perish, you can still use maybe EndNote or Mendeley. Mendeley is more sophisticated software if we want to work with that, and then export that file, and then you can use it any bibliometric software. Okay, the possibilities are there. There is no limitation the way you can work, but we can bring a lot more different sort of the data. But the real problem or the headache comes in when we want to combine all these databases. So that's where the Excel comes in, and you need to learn that Power Query where we can combine all these sheets into one combined sheet. So that's important. So I will upload for Google Scholar and also publish or perish software that will allow you to extract data in the form of Excel sheet, but from Google Scholar or any other databases which are not restricted like Web of Sciences or Scopus or PubMed. But still, my understanding is that you should not use these databases for systematic literature review, because we are working with authentic data. And when we talk about authentic data, Web of Sciences, Scopus, PubMed, all these are authentic websites that allow us to work more efficiently. So you can use these websites to make your work easy. But I do understand sometimes we don't have access to all of this, so we need to use Google Scholar. So there are other methods available for that. Okay, so that would be under additional learning, and you will find this immediately after this session. I will upload these videos in your additional learning platform. Okay, now let's move on. What was your last question? Sorry, this is second.
Doctor, the second question, the publish and perish I already tried, but then because my words is more, I think it's more than 256, so the publish and perish cannot come out the result. So
Agreed. But the
so cannot use.
Yeah, but the I think Google Scholar, you can work with advanced search query. Okay, I will upload that video, but still I would prefer not to use these databases, because it will give you a huge amount of literature. It's difficult to work with that particular but huge amount of data, which are not authentic databases. Why I'm saying authentic, because sometimes because the journal's review policy is not rigorous, it's not at that level where it should be included in Scopus or Web of Sciences or any other databases. So that's why there are thousands of the journals available, but obviously they are not sophisticated or authentic as these databases. So that's why it's important. Okay. Okay, let me close this window. Just give me one moment. Okay, so can we move on because the time is short. So I believe I answered your question. Any further?
Doctor,
Yeah.
Doctor, there is still one left.
Yeah.
For the identity, for the title apps key, do we choose this function under identification or screening? Because if after screening, sometimes we will remove like for example, we use Scopus, got 50 articles. After screening, maybe all will filter out, so it won't left in my database in SLR. So do I need to put it in screening or identification?
No, this question is like you are talking about the selection of the keyword from the title abstract or just from the title, right?
Title apps key.
In Web of Sciences Scopus, right? That's your question.
Yeah,
Okay.
in title apps key, we put under identification or we key in under screening step.
That depend on your choice because the first level is screening. Identification. So once you are done with the identification, then you will move on with the screening process. Okay, so the first step that is under identification, not screening. Okay, so if you are talking about only abstract, yes, we can use that for identification. But later on, if you decided at any stage you just want to consider the titles only, that would be again identification. It means that you have changed the way you have your search strategy. Okay, so in both cases, this is under identification. The screening process starts once your initial results are there, and now you want to refine your work with these additional filters available on the right side of your screen. Okay, when you move to that point, now this is your screening and inclusion and exclusion criteria. If you want to search with abstract or just title, that's your identification. But I would always prefer you should work keyword, abstract, and your title. If you find a lot of literature with these three, inclusion, it means that your topic is too much broader and it have a lot of research articles already available for that. So don't just focus on title only. It means that the title will give you a few questions, but it means that you have a few results, but it means that your topic was too broader and you are just restricting for the title only. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, for what is the deadline for using the learning platform? That's really important question. Okay, so there is no deadline for doing this systematic literature review. You can use this literature review template and all material later on as well. But I do understand some people, they have a lot of other responsibilities and working schedule is really tight. So that's why it's difficult for you to manage within time. So in this week, I will explain how to work within the cluster, and then I will allow you to work for one more week. And then I will have one more session just for your questions in the next week. And then you can ask any question within that time. After that time, I would try to give you time, but obviously, you know that it's sometime it become difficult for me to respond immediately, but I will try to respond to your question. Don't worry, it's not just until we are having this session. You can contact me anytime later on as well, and I will help you to improve your work. So don't worry about that part. Okay, so we will try to work with you. Okay, ChatGPT for systematic literature. Okay, let me check on this one. And if there is any problem, I will try to fix it after the session. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. our questions was about the search strategy. That's really where the problems are. Okay. So we have already discussed how we can use different search strategies, and I will try to upload a few videos to, develop your search query. That's really important. But now today's session is about themes and working with this within themes. So I'm just working on data, and that data which we already used previously. It's very simple one, just Scopus. Now, if you want to work with any other databases, the options are available here. Okay, so you can work with those. Otherwise, you can create a file which is based on Scopus database template. So you can create this file manually, but obviously that will need a lot of manual efforts. Okay. Okay, so last week Friday sessions is all. So okay, let me check on this. Hopefully immediately after this session, I will work with IT teams and try to fix it. But if you still have any problem after today, please email us. So I'll try to resettle, but I'll try to settle this access issue today as well. Okay, so hopefully it will be settled. Okay, so let's move on. I have just exported this file, which is based on 415 research articles exported from Scopus Web of Science. Sorry, Scopus, not Web of Science. And okay, so I'm here in the conceptual structure, and I'm working with the themes, thematic map. And when I click here, okay, now these themes appears in 4 different quadrants. Okay, so you can bring your cursor onto any cluster. This is called cluster here. I'm referring it to theme as well. So these are different themes. So you can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the system have already developed 10 themes from my data. Okay, so before we move on to learn how we develop these clusters, I have already uploaded that video, but I will just give you a brief demonstration. So just click here, and it will give you different options. So these are keyword plus. So keyword plus, if you are aware of this, when you are submitting your research article to any journal, there are 2 types of the keywords which we do include in our search. One is the keywords which have been assigned by the author and usually have been written immediately after your abstract. So these are called author keywords. But there are other keywords also which are basically being specified by the databases, and we usually select from the existing list of keywords. Okay, so these are called keywords plus. Okay, so if you click here, you have both options. You want to develop these themes based on your keyword or keyword plus. So when I say authors keyword, the keywords provided by the authors, and the keyword plus, the keywords provided by the database or the system where you are trying to submit your research articles. Okay, so you do understand, for example, Elsewhere have their own keyword database and ask you to choose specific keyword related to that journal and your research article. So most of the time I work with the author's keyword because it gives me more clear identification of themes. But this have some limitation as well, because the author keyword that might not be standardized. So in that case, we are not clear about whether the co-occurrence of different keywords are really authentic or not. So in that case, we mainly use keyword plus. But there is another method. You can use this same criteria, finding out the keyword from the title. But when you click on here, you will find a few more options, which I have explained in the video, which I'll be uploading after this. So once we are done with these themes, you can understand different types of the themes here. There are 10 themes which have been divided into 4 different quadrants. So this is emerging theme, this is niche theme, motor themes, and basic theme. So what are these themes? I have already explained in that video. Immediately after this, I will upload that video and you can find out and later on as well. So based on the centrality and density, these quadrants have been formulated. So density means the more frequently used key terms. So the more frequency, the key term frequency. For example, here detection method, you can see the frequency of the detection method is 6. It means that it has been appeared, this detection method has been used as a keyword in 6 different research articles. So this is called density. Centrality means the relationship of one key term with other literature. So this is called centrality. How much related this keyword is in relation to other keywords or key terms. Okay, so this is called centrality. So the based on these two criteria, we have developed 4 different quadrants and 10 different themes. Now, if you can work on these 10 themes, go ahead, you can work out and you can, work on all these themes. Sometimes in the system, it will give you only 2 or 3 themes. So you don't have a, opportunity to combine 2 or 3 more themes. So you need to work on only on those themes which are extracted by the system. But here I have 10 themes and I don't want to work on the 10 theme because it's too much broader and I don't want to work on so many themes. So that's why I need to combine these themes into 4 or 3 different themes. So this is the criteria or the method which I use. Obviously, you have your own understanding about your subject, about your area. You can use that understanding and combine that understanding and your own knowledge with this scientific method and develop a few themes. So the idea is to work within 2, 3, or 4 themes rather than working within 10 themes because it's difficult to work with 10 themes in one research article. So I try to combine all these. Okay. So there are different options available. So the clusters are here. You can see these are 10 clusters. So the cluster name is being assigned by the system, but this is not given based on any specific criteria. This is the first keyword appeared in the system. So the system will give it and the name as a theme. For example, if you check here, this is the first keyword detection method. Then there are many other keywords, but this is the most frequent. So that's why this theme was labeled as detection method. Similarly, healthcare, technology, ecosystem, and all this. Okay. Now, if I want to combine these 2 themes, detection method and healthcare. So I'll check on the keywords used in these 2 themes and try to label these themes or these keywords under one research theme. Okay. So that's how I divided 4 different themes, and how I did this already available in that video, because this is not the topic for today. That's why I'm going to be more brief. Okay. And then we can extract these documents. I want to see which research article is related to which theme. So I can just extract this Microsoft Excel sheet and I can learn all these different themes, how they are different research articles, they are grouped in different themes. So I can divide my literature into 4 or 5 different themes. Okay. Now, if you want to work with the tables, these are the tables. If I show you in my template, you can see these are the tables which I extracted based on the themes from this one. Okay, so if you extract it in the Excel sheet and open this Excel sheet, you will find out
Hello, Professor. When we in the document tab, they give us that tab. When we download, yes, this one.
this one. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what's the difference between document and table tab?
Okay. Now the document is like your 415 research article, And these research article, if I want to see how they are being divided into the different themes, for example, let me show you these files. Okay, I have these files here. Just want to show you. Okay, yeah, this is for documents. Okay, this is the sheet which you want to understand. Okay, so now if you check on the detail, the DOI numbers are there: authors, title, source, year, total citation, and citation per year. And then these are the themes. Okay, so these are different themes, 10 themes which I have in my research. So the system is giving me information about each and every research article. Okay, so this is about the research article included in my database. Okay, clear? This is first thing. So this is for documentation or document. Now the second thing is, the second thing you discuss about the cluster, right? You wanted to see what is the cluster. So this is the information about the cluster. It's not about the documents. It's not about all the research articles. So it's about 4 or 5 or 10 different themes. Okay. Now, for example, detection method, the centrality, density, rank density, the cluster frequency, how many terms are there. Okay. So this is about the theme. Now, if I want to identify what are the research articles which are related to this detection method, then I need to go back to this document thing and I need to identify whether these. Okay, so.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So the table is the report, the results. We don't see the raw data anymore, but the
Yeah.
document, we still see that in case we want to do something ourselves or we want to check.
That we need to do, because we need the idea is this: we are working with 4 or 5 different themes, and for example, these 400 research articles, now they have been divided into 4 different groups. Okay, now I will go back to these themes and we will work within those themes, and now we have separate data set for all 4 themes. Okay, so that's the idea. That's why we need this documents as well.
Yeah, if we want to change the theme, let's say right now we're 10 themes and we think there should be only 5. Should we change it in the Biblic Shiny or should we change the Excel sheet?
We need to do this in manual Excel sheet, and the process is like we need to combine, for example, these 3, and we need to sum up all their density, and we need to create averages. So this merger is already being uploaded in one video where you can learn how to merge this. But the important thing is there are 3 things here. Everybody should clearly understand that this is one is the theme, the second is the terms, and the third one is the documents. Okay, so this is theme. We do understand, for example, detection method. Now these are the terms. Okay, this is also important. So if we combine 2 themes, we need to combine their key terms also. These are the words which I'm interested in that give me an idea how these themes are being structured or composed. Okay, so if you check on this, all these 3 files or 3 Excel sheet will work together in order to combine different themes and different clusters. If system gives you 3 or 4 clusters, then things are really simple. You don't need to combine anything, or you don't need to merge them. But if we want to merge and we want to combine and we need to bring new ideas here, then obviously we need to work on these Excel sheets. Okay, so there are 3 types of the Excel sheet. One will give you information on the clusters. Second will give you information on the key terms used in each cluster. And the third one will give you the information about the research article included in each cluster. Okay, clear? So the idea is simple.
Can I see in the Biblic Shiny the tab?
Yeah. Okay, so this is table where we have information about the frequency, the word, which is cluster label, different clusters, their keywords. Okay, this is about clusters only. Okay, it tells you the cluster, and this is about the document. So these are 3 important tabs.
I think I still confused about what's the difference between the, I think we just now I asked you the table and the documents, right? The document is all documents, like all 400 documents are still there.
Yeah.
But the tables are,
Tables are the keywords, okay? The tables are keywords and they might be thousands. It's not just 300 or 400. You can see it maybe more than that. And they are repeating the frequency and all this. So what this table is telling us, for example, let me explain it to you. For example, this is the occurrence, the frequency of detection method. So detection method has been used in 6 different research articles. And the cluster which we label to this detection method is detection method. As I mentioned, the first keyword will be labeled as cluster label as well. But another keyword, sustainability, is also part of this cluster. China is also part of this cluster. Information and technology also part of this cluster. So this cluster consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. Okay, 6 terms, and these are the centrality of these terms. Centrality means the degree of association of this term with other term. But remember, this is a relative term. We just compare these numbers with each other. Okay, for example, here it is 58. It means that this is more relevant. 28 is less relevant. 11 is obviously less relevant. And then we have rank as well. Okay, so this is about the keywords. Okay, now
and the keywords from the author keyword.
that's your choice. For now, I used I think I use keyword plus, but that's your choice. You can change it from here, whatever you want. For example, let me run it again. Okay, so this was author keyword, keyword plus, not authors. Let me show you authors as well, so we do understand what is the difference between these two. Okay, you can see this is similar. So this was for a keyword plus. Now, if I change it to author's keyword, the structure would be changed because author keywords are mostly different than the system keyword.
Yeah, so the keyword in tables is any keywords that based on your choice of the field.
Yes. Yes. Now you can see the system have changed it, and now the table is being changed on here as well. Okay, so that depend on the way you analyze things. Okay, that largely dependent on your ability to learn how you can use different. But most of the time, I tried with all these options and try to see which one is the best fit for my research. That's your choice. Okay, so
Yeah.
clear about the table.
Yeah, a table can have a lot of lines because each line is a keyword.
Yes. But when you export the Excel sheet, please click here and show all, and then
Yeah,
export into Excel. Okay, otherwise it will export only 10, 20 key terms, which might not be useful for you. Okay, so
Yeah.
we need to do some manual working here, and this manual working should be aligned with the understanding we have about our topics, which we developed from ChatGPT in introduction section. Okay, I will explain it later on when we'll be working within the cluster. So from here, everybody is clear how to develop these clusters and how to work with these 3 tabs: table, clusters, and documents. Is it clear? Any question?
Can I ask one more question for the combination? So if we want to combine, do we combine based on the cluster tab?
That's your choice. What I'm doing in my research, I'm using these quadrants. Okay, so for example, these 2 themes, the detection method and healthcare, they could be combined because they are linked with emerging or declining theme. What are these emerging and declining theme? Basically, these 2 themes, they have very low centrality and very low density. So the characteristics of these key terms are same. So that's why I combine them. But obviously you can combine different themes based on your own understanding, but we need to define that understanding or that method through which you combine the themes. Okay, for me, it's easier because these are 4 different quadrants. So I can divide literature into 4 different quadrants. And sometime when I work with this, maybe we don't have any theme here in this quadrant. So I can just work with three themes rather than 4 themes. So this criteria is simple for me to follow. But if you want to define your own criteria, you can do that. But remember, in the systematic literature review, whenever we are doing any steps or any procedure, we need to make it standard. Okay, so we need to identify why I'm doing that rather than how I'm doing that. Okay, so why and the procedure. So this is it's easier for me to combine these, and then these three have the common characteristics. I can combine them. These two I can combine them, and these three I can combine them. It's really
Yeah,
simple for me.
Yeah, that part I understand. I think I missed that part that when you were saying, if you combine the clusters, you also need to combine something. So that part I did not
Okay.
understand.
Now, my understanding here is I want to combine these two themes, right? So this one and this one, for example.
The pink one, yes, the red one, and then the gray one.
Yeah. Now, what I need to do is I need to look into the table. Okay. Let me show you that table of terms. Okay. Now, you remember what are the themes?
That's all the keywords, right?
Yes, I want to bring those keywords together to form a new theme. Okay, so the cluster label is detection. So let me just show you a very quick one combination. Okay, how to combine. And what was the second theme? The first theme was detection method, and the second one is healthcare, right? So I'll go back to this term. Now I'm looking for healthcare here. This is healthcare. Okay. Now this is newly formed cluster. Okay. And now we have all the data which we need to display here for that particular cluster. And I can give name to this cluster as that depends on my choice, what name I'm giving to this cluster. In my case, I'm giving it to supply chain automation because that was the thing which we started earlier before we moved to digitalization. Automation was the first thing. So that was declining theme. So I named them as a declining theme, but that name you can suggest based on these keywords. Okay, depending on your keywords which you combine. Okay, so you can give any name depending on your choice. That obviously that depends on your understanding and your area of research. That might be different from my area. Okay, can we is it clear?
Yeah, so by saying you will change the D column, you change the name of the cluster, right?
Yeah, because I'm combining two different themes into one. Okay, so in that case, I need to give a new name which I believe is more suitable for these two, combination of these two themes. But that purely depending on your area of research and your understanding. Okay, because these are the concepts which we need to work with, within the themes as well. So when I'll be moving to that part, I'll explain it to you how we can work within the theme. Okay, for now, is it clear technically or statistically how we can combine 2 or 3 different themes into one? Is it clear?
Yeah, if my understanding is correct, we just want the computer to recognize we merged the two themes by changing the cluster name. And by changing that, we both need to change the table's keywords and also the clusters.
Yes, and the documents also. We need to combine all these 3 themes. Okay, now one important thing is the themes can be developed based on different options. Okay, so you have to work a little bit more on and try to figure out which one is best solution for you. Okay, it's not one fit solution for everything. So you need to work on your area and you need to identify the themes based on different options available. So I just gave you illustration of a quick, thematic mapping, but we can do with the author keyword, we can do with the titles and abstract. So it will not, take a lot of your time. We can do it quickly and learn which one is best suitable for our research. That's really important for all of us. Okay, so once we are done with that, in some cases or in most of the cases, the system will give you 3, 4, or 5 themes which we can directly work on. But if we find more than these, 4 or 5 themes, and then we have, for example, 10 themes, it's really difficult for me to cover all these themes within one research article. That's why I force to combine them, and that's why I need to identify a method through which I can combine them. So fortunately, we have this system where we have these 4 different quadrants. So in my research, I use this method because it makes more sense. But depending on your choice, you can define any other criteria if you want to. Okay, but that's really a straightforward method. So it's important for you. Okay, clear?
But how can we have the computer recognize after so we should upload something?
No, we don't need to. Why we need computer to recognize the theme we develop? Why? The system is
So
giving
right now here
yeah.
it shows 10 bubbles. How can we have the computer show 4 bubbles after the merge?
Why we need that?
Or I guess for visualization?
No, that you can create on any software. That's not required. But the thing is, why we need this system? We need our document to be divided into groups. Okay, that the bibliometric software have already done for us. Now we can combine and we can use this information for further analysis. We don't need to ask system to develop that 4 bubbles. No, we don't need that. Okay, why we don't need, I'll tell you later on, because when we'll be working within the cluster, the things would be really changed. Now we will be working in a different software there.
Okay.
So the software for bibliometrics is the work for the bibliometric software is done here. So we don't need it further. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So you can show this table as I mentioned here in the template. Okay. If you can check here in the template, okay, so it gives me only 3. Then I created 3. But if you have more than 3, you need to justify how you develop, how you merge those themes. So you just add a paragraph based on density and this centrality. We have merged these 2 clusters to form a major theme for our research. So that's simple. So we don't need to discuss further on this. Okay, clear?
Yes, so the 3 bubbles that you show in your Word file, that's the bibliometric
Yeah,
software.
that was automatically developed. I didn't develop them. So if I want, because that was the basic for my work, I started working with those clusters and then we move on with the other, methods of doing it. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Is there any other software to do that? Yes, we have VOSviewer. We have, SiteSpace. We have Giphy. There are many softwares available which can do the similar work. Okay, so this is called Centrometrics or bibliometrics analysis. So any software you can use which is for bibliometrics analysis. So it's possible, but some software they have some limitation. Some software they have paid version. So in this program or in this course, I try to give you the software which are free to use. Okay, so that's why I choose R, because they are developing exponentially. It's really good software. I can upload some video on VOSviewer as well, so you can use VOSviewer if you want to. That is also a simple software to use, but the technicalities we are having in bibliometrics or using BiblioShiny is more scientific than any other software. That's why I'm using it, because I believe that it gives us more mathematical calculation to develop these themes and centrality and all this, and then we can work further from this input and develop our theme based on some scientific method, for example, these calculations. Okay, so that's why the high quality or high impact journal would like to take this type of systematic literature rather than using different software. So I would prefer if you can use this, but there are many other softwares are also available. Okay, so I believe until here things are clear. I will upload that video. You can have another look, but still, if you have any question when you are applying your data and when you have any difficulties, we can discuss. And even if you can try this one, and we can discuss on Sunday as well, if you can spare some time to attend the Sunday session as well. So we can discuss this later on if you try and if you have any difficulties. Okay, so let's move on here. What I have already done is I have divided my data into different themes, and then the themes were 10. I merged those themes into different, clusters, and I developed only 4 themes based on the quadrants, which is available in my, bibliometric software. Okay. Now let's move on. If things are clear here, can I move on? Or if you have any question, I would be happy to take your question.
I'm clear. Thank you so much.
Anyone else having any question? Please do not hesitate. If you have any question, basics or advanced level, please go ahead, ask me so I can help you in a better way. Okay.
Doctor,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I have a question, want to clarify. When I searching for articles in Scopus, I use, for example, I use title apps key. Then for Google Scholar, if don't have title apps key, it means the consistency in searching is not consistent. So can I still use Google Scholar in my SLR?
No, Google Scholar also have this advanced search option. Have you tried those advanced search options?
How about if other databases that don't have title apps key, for example, then in Scopus, I use total apps key, but in other databases, I didn't use the title apps key. Can I still proceed with the searching, screening, and so on? And I mentioned that other databases, I didn't use title apps key. Can I do it like that?
First thing is, I would not recommend you to use unstructured databases, okay? Because this is systematic literature reviews. It's really important to work with structured databases. So what are these structured databases? Google Scholar is a structured search engine, but it is not a database, okay? When I say database, Web of Sciences, Scopus, PubMed, you have even now Crossref is also available. So if you can use any of these, Abesco, all these are giving you opportunity to search with abstract keywords and everything, okay? But if you are working with non-structured databases and only search engine, this is where the problem is, okay? So I would recommend you, if you are working with high quality research articles, so you don't go with those type of databases. So even if you can check on most of the research articles on systematic literature review, they have not used Google Scholar as a search engine or as a database where they can extract data. So that's my recommendation. But still, if you want to use them, there are options available where we can extract that information and transform that information into different method. But again, if you are doing this, you are using a lot of manual working, and then the core sense of this course is to do systematic literature review quickly and efficiently, and that I would not be able to help you in that, because it's really difficult when you are using with the non-structured databases or just with the search engine and combining those results with the authentic databases. The quality issue would be already there, okay? Because that might not be fulfilling your quality criteria. So that's my recommendation. Don't use this, but if you want to use it, there are methods available. Okay, so go for
Doctor,
yeah.
The Google Scholar and also the Dimension, they don't have the keywords. They just only have title and abstract. So it's considered inconsistencies, right? In searching.
No, how did you say that Google Scholar, they don't have keywords? Let me just This is Google Scholar, right? Have you checked this one? This is a keyword.
Yes.
When I use inverted comma, the system will automatically understand that this is a keyword. Okay, and you have many different options of doing search within Google Scholar. It's really impressive, but the thing is it combines result from non-index databases as well. That's why I'm not preferring this one, but this is not the way for abstract or keyword. It's already there. Okay, so you need to use the similar, and even if you are using this, for example, and the same way you are using in Scopus, there is no difference. Is it the same thing which you are referring to? Have you tried with the advanced search options here?
Yes.
Okay. So when we put inverted commas, it's taking it as a keyword, and it is searching within the abstract and the title. Okay, so don't mix it. The structure is same. The structure is not a problem. The problem is when you are extracting this information within the Excel sheet, that Excel sheet would be different than the Scopus one, right? That's the main problem, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, understand. Thank you, doctor.
No, my understanding about this is correct. This is what you are talking about, the keywords, right?
Yeah, because in Scopus, they have this title apps key shortcut, but
That-
then in Google Scholar
that
don't have.
shortcut is no. That shortcut is there, syntax when we interact with that type of databases. That is different in Web of Sciences. If you check in the Web of Sciences, they are using different syntax. So don't worry about that syntax. The process is same. Okay, so that is their database syntax. So each database, they have their own different command. For example, if you are using different software for same work, you need to give different commands. Okay, so the same way, these different databases are working differently, but the purpose is same. So we can specify keywords by using inverted commas, and we can use Boolean operator, and the system in Google Scholar automatically will search from the title and the abstract. It's same, it's not different. But the thing is, when we extract that information, the Excel sheet you will receive that may be different than the Excel sheet you receive from Scopus. And that is also the case of Web of Sciences. Web of Sciences is also different. Okay, so can we move on? Clear? Is it clear? Any question here? Okay, so let's move on within this cluster now. So I'm just quickly giving you an idea of what we can do within the cluster now. So what I want here is, I want, for example, this is my first theme, which I combined 3 different clusters from BiblioShiny, and I name them as a supply chain automation. So, okay, remember my keywords was smart contracts. Okay, so the smart contracts is my context. Now I want to create a table where I can bring the findings of the previous literature. This is the question I think our some of the learners, they have already asked me how we can develop those tables quickly and efficiently rather than studying all these research articles. Okay, so I'll give you 2 different methods through which you can create tables and bring those tables here, and then use ChatGPT or Genie.ai to interpret those tables, and we can work within themes now. Now, remember these themes, the names of the themes, the more standardized name you identify, it means that the more accurate your data analysis would be. Okay, so let's move on. Again, I'm going back to this amazing tool, which is Elicit. So I'll just type my research question here. So I have already done that work. how smart contracts were used for supply chain automation, because my context was smart contracts and automation. Okay, you do understand the context now. So research question is really simple. Now the system will give you different research article. Okay, now I need to learn. Okay, I need to learn from these titles whether they are relevant or not. For example, I'm working with this smart contract for smart supply chain. That's possible. This is a good topic, but this one is might not be related to this specific theme, because this theme is about automation. But here is design execution in supply chain oriented dynamic modeling. I'm not interested. Smart contract for smart supply chain, that's possible. A smart contract for supply chain blockchain framework for mitigating challenges, not related. Intelligent smart contracts for innovative supply chain, not automation of supplier, the role in GB power system using blockchain based smart contracts. Really, related topic. Now, for example, I identified this one as a related one and I clicked on this star. Okay. And then I use this system to clear unstarred. Now I have only this one, the starred one. Okay, so here I would click show more like starred. Now I have a few more, related research article. You can see now it's clearly linked with the research which I already have. Okay, now these all, okay, I can ask system to add, because you can see that this is the paper title, this is summary of abstract. Okay, now I can ask system to add another column where we can measure outcome. Okay, so these are the outcomes which the system have already measured. Some cases there is no outcome, so it's empty. Other than this, it gives you all these. So if I want to add a few more things, for example, the author names, I'm interested in that. I want to see the journals, I can add that one as well. Then number of participants, number of studies, population summary, age, because these are really important for those who are working within medical sciences. So all these, but for me, you can see the intervention, dose, duration, detailed summary of abstract, the main finding. This is where I'm interested in. I'm interested in the main finding. Okay, so, and then we have a lot more options available here. So what I can do, these are the options which I can use to, develop the tables which I can bring within the each clusters. For example, within the cluster, I want to have this type of tables which I can explain, and I do understand, okay, what type of research has been done within those form of clusters. Okay, so I can quickly export this file as CSV file. Now, if I export that file in CSV file, it means that it gives me this result quickly. Now, these are all research articles. Now, a practical problem comes here. Most of the time, these research articles, which I have extracted from elicit.org, they are already in your data, which we have extracted just now from BiblioShiny. But for example, if there are a few research articles which are prominent in our research area, but the elicit have already, have not extracted that information. So what to do that? Do we need to read those articles which are not being included or not? For that purpose, we have another software. Let me just quickly. For example, I'm bringing one research article just for your illustration purpose. If we have some research articles which are not covered within that elicit.org, how to use them manually in order to find. Okay, so that's where we have another Sorry. Okay, so this is where we have another tool, we call it Scholarcy. This tool will help you to summarize any research article quickly. Okay, so you can upload that article and it will create summary, it will create output, finding, everything for you. Okay, so it is available for you to use free, and also you can subscribe, but if you log in, it will ask you for subscription. So just click here, try it now, and it will give you this interface where you can upload your document. So I can upload any PDF file. For example, if I'm just uploading this file, let's see how it works. So what this software can do for you, it can create summary, it can create all those information which we need in Elicit. For example, paper title, journal, main finding. For example, we have, sorry. We have paper title, we have outcome measures, author, journal, finding. All this information we can extract from Scholarcy for any research article which which might not be available in Elicit.org. I think this output is not readable. Let me search. Okay, so I will upload one video for you on Scholarcy as well, so you can understand what type of job Scholarcy will do for you, but this is where we will be working within the clusters. Okay, so once you have that table, for example, we have developed this table. I'm just going you up, I'm giving you a brief overview. Later on, I will upload separate videos for this as well. Okay, so this is the table. I want this table to be explained. Okay, so what I can do, I can just quickly use ChatGPT. And now the prompt which I want to use is, okay, the prompt I'm going to use is explain in okay, so just I have gave this command to ChatGPT and it is explaining all the studies available within the table and their findings and with the reference. Okay, so you can ask ChatGPT to write this within with the paragraph format. That's your choice, but the idea is this: it gives you how to write different findings from this research table. Okay, so this is how we work with the ChatGPT, but the same work can be done with the Genie.ai. That will give you more detailed output, or Bread or Bing also helpful for you in this. But most importantly, the ethical considerations. So please don't just copy this content. Add your ideas, include these, text, and you can develop your, understanding around it. Okay, now.
Sorry, I think I got lost here. So what did you exactly put as a prompt?
Okay, for the prompt, I wrote this prompt, explain the finding in the table and use the in-text citation from the table. I will upload this with the Word file as well, so you will find all these prompts with you. And then I copied in inverted comma the table which I copied from my Word file or from Excel sheet or anywhere. Okay, so now this is the table. This is the table. Okay, this one. Okay, and
Table is from Scholarly.
this table I extracted from
Oh,
this.
in this.
But remember, this is not the whole story. When we extracted or extract information from elicit, there might be possibility it is not covering all the literature within that cluster, which is available in your research. So what we need to do, we need to identify a few more. For example, it is just giving you studies from 2001. So these studies I later added with the help of Scholarly. Okay. You can see when I uploaded one research article, it is giving me all this information, the title, summary, the key concept, the abstract. Okay, so all this information was from that research article which I uploaded. So I can use even the comparative analysis summary. If I want to choose anything else, it's available in Scholarly. So how we do that? So what I did, I created a template from elicit, copied that table here in Word file, and added a few more studies or few more prominent research article and extracted that information based on this table. Okay, the table which I developed for literature review in the specific theme. Okay, so that's how we generate this table and then use ChatGPT or any AI tool to explain the findings of this table, and then we can move on with the next part. Okay, so I believe now let's just conclude here because the things are getting complex. So let's just conclude here. So what I did, I developed the different themes. Okay, and for each theme, for example, I have combined different clusters and created this one theme, supply chain automation. Now, supply chain automation, I have that Excel sheet where maybe I have 25 or 30 or 60 research article in that Excel sheet. For example, this is my Excel sheet for the documents. Okay. For example, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, these are for cluster 1. Okay, now I want to find out what exactly these studies are talking about. Okay, so I can use elicit.org to generate that table, or I can use Scholarly to generate that table for me. But for Scholarly, you need to work each and every article, upload that article, and then extract that information within that table which you created. Or you can use elicit.org just to write your keyword, and the system will automatically develop table for you. And you can add feature to this table using this sidebar. There are many other options are available. If you click here, you will find a whole bunch of options which you can add to generate a table of literature review for you. Okay, but remember, this is within the themes. Okay, so the theme 1, this is the table, and this table sometime it is accurately giving you all the information which you have which you need in, and sometime there are a few more studies which I understood from my literature review that these studies should also be need to be included. So you can include those studies in the same format, but to create that format, you don't need to read that whole article. You can use Scholarly to summarize your research and give you key finding and key areas, the same table which we have created here. So you don't need to go through each and every research article. You can just upload that and extract that information. That is the standard table. So once your standard table is being created, we will use ChatGPT to, just explain that table and use this prompt, explain the findings of the table and use the citation from the table. And, then I just pasted that table in inverted commas. Okay, this is one format. But in some cases, I'm not interested in explanation. I'm interested in cross comparison of studies. I want to compare different studies. So I can use same command. Okay, so I can use, compare the studies table and use in text citations. Okay, so again, I'm using a different command, but the same table, and now the system will give me, or ChatGPT will give me, a comparative analysis of these research article. Okay, so you can use Brad, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Jenny.ai for this purpose. Okay, so I think let's just conclude here. We shall not make things complex. I will upload short videos for you for everything, so it's easier for you to track your progress and follow each step separately. Okay, now you can see based on their sector research method. So depending on the way, because my table here, if you check, it has two things: authors, sector, and method. So we can compare research based on the method, or we can compare based on the sector. So that's what ChatGPT is doing. An amazing job, that it is telling us how different sectors and how different research methods are being used in this research. So it's really valuable insight, and we can just compare it quickly. Okay, so let me just go back here. Okay, so that's where we can compare these tables and we can discuss different shortcomings or limitation on existing literature. So this is how we can work. So let me just conclude, and then I'll go back for the question and answer. The first thing, we use that sheet which we have created or extracted from Google's, Scopus or Web of Sciences, and then we use Bibliometrics software, BiblioShiny, R package, and from that we created different themes, and from that theme we divided our literature into different themes, and now we are working within the theme. So I gave you elicit.org utilization, how we can use this to develop different tables of literature, okay, related to our idea. So we need to identify the keywords within the clusters, and then we can develop a table. Okay, and if there are a few studies which elicit.org have not covered, you can create your own table by using scholarcy.org. So then you can quickly learn from that research article, upload that article, and the Scholarcy will give you a clear idea of the finding, of the summary and everything, and then you can use that information to create that table. And once the table has been created, you can ask ChatGPT to compare it, to explain it, to provide limitation on the literature. So there are many ways which we can work within the ChatGPT. This is how it works. But I will create short videos for you so you can understand each and every step separately and follow my idea of my working style. So later on you can work it within your research. So this is what we have done for today. Now let me open this session for question. Okay, let me take a few questions here. ChatGPT can recognize any table. You can just copy and paste. Okay, but if you have table online available, and if you're using Bing, okay, so Bing can directly extract that information from your table, from your live website. Okay, so the Bing is different. So you can ask Bing. Bing is ChatGPT 4. So if you have this question, do we want to use ChatGPT 4, 3.4 or 5? We have both options. So if you want to use ChatGPT 4 and the live chat, you can use Bing, which is available in your Edge software, Microsoft browser. Okay, so you can use that clearly. And if you want to use ChatGPT 3.5, I don't have any objection. That is also fair enough in order to explain our research, because we are not asking them to generate any new information. We are giving them table and ask them to give us, a discussion or write up on that table. Okay, is it possible that Elicit can provide article not given by original Scopus search? Yes, it is possible. This is where you need to work with Elicit more in detail. You can work with the larger table and then exclude those studies which are not included in your Excel sheet. But we need to compare. Okay, that's where we need to work a little bit more, and we need to compare these two finding. But in both cases, for example, I have 415 research articles, and if I divide them into 4 different themes, and let's say technically 25% in each theme, so it means that we have at least 100 research articles in one theme. Still, it's not possible for me to create a table for 100 research articles and explain each and every research article. So that's where elicit.org will help you and will be focused on the finding of your key question. Okay, and then we can just create table for 10 to 15 research article per theme. Don't go beyond that. It's not feasible to work with larger tables like 20, 30 studies. It's not good. Okay, so we can just select clearly related 10 to 20 or 15 research articles, and might be Elicit will give you maybe 10 research article, 5 you need to add, or maybe sometime Elicit can give you all research article related to you, or maybe 10 or 15, and all the good articles have been covered, so you don't need to bring anything extra. Okay, but obviously it's not, it's some work we need to do with Elicit, with the Excel sheet, and with ChatGPT as well. Okay. Okay, now in the data, Chris, can you ask this question? Because I want everybody to understand this question, and then we can,
Yes, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you. Before, in the ChatGPT platform, you paste the data that consists of 3 columns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the author column, yes, the sector and the method.
Mm.
And ChatGPT started explaining these records.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Now, remember the first column would be your labels. Okay. So you can change these labels depending on your own research. Okay. For me, the sector and method was appropriate in this research, but if we want to bring something different, we will be using Elicit. Okay, here are different options available. What type of columns you want to create? For example, I'm interested to create maybe regions. Okay, in which region these studies were being conducted. Okay, for example, I'm interested in the main finding. Okay, I'm interested in, let's say, methodology, detailed study design. So I can create a whole bunch of options there. But remember, the more options you have, the more complex your analysis would be. Okay, so, and the reader would not understand what you exactly want to do with this table. Okay, so that's why I usually choose 3 or 4 columns only. Okay, because it's easier for me to compare and maintain my readership interest as well. So that's important. So if you can work with these different types of the option, it depending on your choice, exactly based on what type of analysis you want to do. Here my key findings were based on the different methods of the research and the different sector where these blockchains were used. So that's why I just bring 3 columns, but this is not the limitation. You can do whatever you want. Okay, you can bring more, 3, 4, 5 or more than this table columns, but I would recommend you don't go beyond 4 columns per table. Okay, so if we check on this, if I summarize this, not more than 15 research articles, just go with the 10 to 15 and don't go beyond 4 columns. Okay, and try to bring the latest studies 2023, 22, 21, that will give you more clear idea, and you know, it's really important for. Okay, so clear?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Alda, can you ask question? Last Friday session is also showing. Okay, I will set up this immediately after this session. I will try to fix the accessibility issue. Okay, I think any
Can
other,
I ask
yes,
one last question? So let's say we are
can
only
ask
interested
more than
in
one
analyze-
question, no problem. Yes, sure.
Yeah, so if we're only interested to analyze article from a single journal, then it's a better way is to do in the scholarly, right?
No, still it's possible in Elicit if you check this one in a better way. Okay, so we can do that, but if one journal only, still in scholarly you need to add all those information again and again, right?
Yeah.
Because for example, if you have 15 articles, then you need to do 15 times. Okay, now the thing is, if you work with Elicit, it can refine that based on the journals as well. Okay, so for example, authors, now we have journal. So if you find that journal here and click on the star and then again refine it, it most probably system will give you article based on that particular journal, and then you can come up with the idea. But if you have your own set of articles which you want to create in form of table, then obviously Scholarly is the best option for you if you already have your 10 and 15 research article already selected. Okay, so that's possible. In some cases you can see that the Scholarly will give you access to these research articles as well. So if you want to learn more from that, it's really possible. But working within one journal, yes, that's the idea. If Scholarly can help you, if you already have identified those 10 to 15 research articles from where you want to develop table, then Scholarly can help you. Otherwise, it's better to go with Elicit.
Okay, understand. Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay, I think we have 4 minutes more. If you have any further question, I can respond to your question. I would be happy to help you. Okay, so let's just conclude. I will add one video on Scholarly and one video on elicit.org in additional learning, but that's just to learn the platform. Okay, the way we are using it, I have discussed within this video, so you should learn when we need to use this system and software. Remember, most of the time we have this tendency to learn so many things, but we never know where to use these learnings. Okay, in my opinion, we shall learn only when we need it. Okay, so please, you should be able to understand how and why we are using this software and these techniques, and that's why you need to learn those options which are really helpful for you. And then later on you can learn more as well, but for the basic understanding, you should be able to understand why I'm using this software and where I need to extract it output in my template as well. Okay, so Jenny.ai, I'm thinking to give this demonstration on Sunday about the Jenny.ai, this really important software. If you have time, please attend that session. Otherwise, I'll upload the video of that session and you can learn about the Jenny.ai. And also I will make this video especially for Jenny.ai in I think, additional videos as well. Okay, how to sign up for Sunday session? I have already sent that. I think I asked my team to send you email. So you receive email every week, right? In that email, you will find two links. The first link is for Friday and the second link is for Sunday. So you can click on the second link and it will give you registration for Sunday link as well. Okay, Chris, what's your question? Again.
Yes, I would like to ask, in the systematic literature review research, it is common that we provide the whole CSV file with all the records, so the editors or the reviewers can cross-check the references.
My understanding, I never gave this CSV file because we have already identified that criteria within the methodology part. So if the editor, they want to cross-check, they can just copy and paste that criteria in that database, for example, Scoopus, and they will get that results. And secondly, I always make the data available on demand. So if they need, they can ask me, but it is a good practice if you can submit that file, that creates some credibility for you as well. Yeah, we can do that. And we can ask them, availability of data is based on the demand. So if they need, they can ask us. That's possible. Okay, both are good options here.
Thank you.
Don't show these records in appendix because it's a huge, lengthy file, so it's not advisable to add that in appendix. Yes, additional data set, I can understand we can give this file as an additional data set. Now, even if you check on these journals, now we have separate journals for just data. For example, data is another journal where you can just publish your data as well and give the description of your data. So check on this. This will help you if we are working this amount of work, and if we can just add a few more lines and publish another article with the data, that would be really helpful. So check on the other option on the data as well. Okay, so some journal give you option to publish your data separate as a research article. Okay, I think that's it for today's session. I hope to see you on Sunday session. If possible for you, please spare some time and join that session. Otherwise, I'll try to upload that session as well, so we can learn from that. So this would be last live session where we have worked within the cluster, and I will keep uploading the videos. So and once this session is being closed, my video uploads are being done, I will send you final email of the confirmation that all the videos have been covered, and now your course is being completed. So after this, we will have one session where I can take your questions only, no content. I'll just take your questions and I'll try to help you with your working. But I want you to work on these different options which I told you before we move to that session, so you can ask questions which are really practical and you are facing those problems. Okay, so that will be helpful for me and for you as well. But that session, most probably, I'm not sure, but most probably that would be on next Sunday and 4 p.m. Okay, so I'll check my schedule, and once it is confirmed, we'll send you an email for that confirmation. But before that, I have to complete all the videos. Okay, so I'll try to upload the videos as soon as possible, and then we can ask questions according to that. And if you all agree, I will upload one Word document file, a form for you where you can upload your final template which I gave you, so I can learn whether you have done your work correctly. If you want my feedback, so that would be a good idea to have that portal where you can upload your final documentation and final template, so I can learn whether you have followed my step correctly or not, and I give you feedback on that. So that would be end of it. I'll see you on Sunday. Hopefully, this learning session was useful for all of you. Thank you very much and have a very nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.